How do you balance managing a business and your dance? Your dance.
Mm, you just have to really, like what you do. Kasi
Uh,
parang, yeah, kunyari, I majored in business, so parang passion ko rin siya talaga. Alam mo
okay.
yun? So,
Yeah.
at the same time, dance is obviously my passion. Well, on balancing it, it's just you really have to, work double time eh. Parang harder than usual. Like, kunyari, kung yung businessman is working hard for his business to grow, you need to work as hard as that businessman. Tapos, kunyari, yung dancer trains this hard. Parang ganun ka rin dapat. Pero at the
Yeah.
same time, managing your time. Siguro, I hindi ako magaling mag-manage ng time. As in, I wouldn't say I'm an organized person. Pero yun nga, it teaches you how to be.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun? Yeah. I would, most of the time, or there are times na talagang ayokong pumunta sa sa store kasi pagod ako from training.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun? Pero at least parang ako I have to spend at least 2 hours, 3 hours in sa business to to check on it and then
But
leave for training. Go ahead.
what let's say if like on a daily basis, right, you have to encounter a lot of decisions between your dance, and also the business. So on a what do you think more often are you having to sort of sacrifice between those two? Like if you're shoot, I have to give up this thing because I dance, or no, I can't go to my business right now. What do you think?
It depends on yung commitment na kailangan. Kunyari, I have a gig or kunyari I have a competition. Syempre, I give more time doon. More effort doon. Pero kunyari, if like normal days,
yeah,
I make sure to check on my business.
Yeah.
Like, yung books ko, yung sales and all, yung tao ko, kung kamusta ba siya, kung okay lang ba siya.
Yeah.
Yun. Pero yun, I think what I can, give out to the people who are trying or who wants to do dance in business, na you just find your flow. May kanya-kanya kasi tayong flow eh. So parang ako I found it after siguro mga 6 months. Pero syempre, I wouldn't say it's a solid Pero yun, parang I found my flow on how to deal with my business and then dance. Alam mo yun? Yun. Tapos may times na nadadala ko yung business ko sa mga dance events.
Yeah. It works. Yeah. And
So yun, parang kasi hindi naman strictly parang if I can only do dance as a business, kaya studio or merch and all. Pero hindi eh. Parang I chose another what do you say? How do you say this? Parang another parang ibang product. Not para it's also ako for me parang okay din siya kasi parang nahihiwalay mo siya.
Yeah.
Segregate mo yun.
No, I like your I think there's one time after class like your lemonade stand was there, right? And
yeah.
I always say it's like the best thing to have like afterwards, and it's not like you're like a hot chocolate business, right? Or like selling polvoron, right? Like right after class, and then you're So yeah, it's exactly. super refreshing. I love it, man. I think you touched on it too. Great. That your flow is eventually it's going to be different for everybody, and I think the most important thing that you did was just kind of start and then sort of navigate that as you went. And I think when you say managing time, for me it's the same also. But there are some days, for example, where I feel like I want to get enough work done, and then like I'm in like this work mode, right? And this literally happens. Like sometimes in the beginning of the day, I think, all right, I want to do work, then dance and do this. More often than not, what usually happens is that's either puro work or like just because it's hard to like get out there once you're in that zone.
Exactly, totoo. If you're in the zone of parang business, parang I don't want to get out of that zone.
I tried scheduling it. Like I tried scheduling like, okay, 8 to 10 is going to be this, like 11 to 12 will be that. And I'm like, if it's scheduled, I'm going to commit to that. But again, like what I realized is, you just kind of have to go, you're just going to have to go with the flow and just see how you plan out. one thing I've realized as well personally has been the difference between what I would call task versus outcome, right? And so this is a concept that I learned when I was working and try to apply it in my daily work now, which is like sometimes we fill our heads with just a bunch of tasks. Like for example, you need to get on the phone with somebody so that they can give you the supply, right? And so you tell your person, say, oh, sabihin mo siya na we need that supply.
Yeah.
And that person says, you follow them up and they go, wala pa yung supply. What did you do? Tinext ko. I'm like, well, you know where he lives. Why don't you go to him? Or parang, sige, i-email ko. And then you do all these little things. Wala pa din. But at the end of the day, the outcome is you just need your supply. So if that means you go over there, whether he's home or not, and then you pick up the supply yourself and you bring it back. You know what I mean? That's just an example, but that's something that's been helpful for me is like, am I doing something that's just kind of like a tick box, like parang a check off? Or am I doing something that's like, parang I want to get an outcome out of this and that's the end result I'm looking for, you know what I mean? So that was helpful for me personally, but I think it's great to define that as you go along, especially when you're building a business.